Hey, what's going on? It's Gary Wilson here, and in this video I want to talk about why most estate agents here in the UK absolutely suck. Now, if you don't know me already, I'm a property developer here in the UK. I've got a sourcing company and we source a lot of deals for investors, and I'm obviously very exposed to the UK property market. I've seen what's happened over the last year, and what I've seen is a massive trend towards something that I think is just an absolute disaster for estate agents. I think most estate agents don't understand how to grow a business properly. They don't think about business in the correct way. And I wanted to offer some insights, if you are an estate agent or if you're in the property business right now, how you could actually see what's happening and how this is actually going to affect the market as a whole. So if you are investing in UK properties, you'll totally understand that what's happened recently is there has been a downward spiral in supply, okay? Now, basically, there's less houses on the market due to COVID, okay? So in a lot of areas, a year ago, you would have seen more stuff in the market. There's now less stuff available. And when that happens, there's basically usually an increase in demand because there's less properties available for the same amount of people. And you could even argue that there's more people looking just now than there ever has been. Now, when supply decreases and demand increases, what this really does is it affects the people who are actually selling the properties. And the people who primarily sell properties are estate agents. And I have a lot of friends who are estate agents who are really struggling just now. And in this video, I want to highlight what I think they've done wrong, because obviously I've had a lot of business experience, marketing experience, and I look at a lot of the estate agents in the market right now, and I just think people don't see what they're doing wrong and why their business isn't working out. So obviously with a lower supply, there's less deals for estate agents to take. So the best estate agents, the large companies, usually are going to get all of the deals. They're going to get the supply that's available. And the people who are really struggling and not making a business profitable just now are people that before the market, became worse for them, didn't actually have a good, robust business in itself. And that's the way you've got to look at it. A lot of people tend to blame the market for their problems, but you've just not got a business that is able to stay alive basically in a bad market. A lot of people profit in a market where there's tons and tons and tons of opportunity, but when that market gets more difficult, it actually takes a lot of skill to create a business that can follow through in those rough times. And in this video, I want to talk about what I kind of experienced when I was in a market. I have a marketing company. I've done this for a long time, and this was the approach that I took to really make myself unique and make myself stand out even in the bad market times. And if you do this with your business, if you are an estate agent right now, or if you're in the property business and you do some kind of deal trading, focusing on the stuff I talk about in this video is going to be really useful for you to actually get a step ahead and begin to get some traction and become one of the better players in the tougher market. So I think it was Jordan Belfort that taught me this. I heard it somewhere, but it's so true in sales that there's basically three things that people buy. Okay, the first thing that people buy is the brand that they're dealing with. Okay, so it's the company and the reputation of the brand that they're dealing with. Okay, the second thing that people buy usually is the person that sells them the product, okay? And then the third thing, of course, we'll buy is the product itself, okay? These are the three main things that people look at when they're making a purchasing decision, okay? And usually speaking, you want to have two of these things really shit hot to be able to sell something, okay? Now, the problem with a lot of estate agents, okay, is most of the ones that just do okay, they're really good in person. They're skilled. They're nice to deal with. They get leads and they come into your house and they do a good job. But a lot of these smaller estate agents, they don't actually have a brand, okay? And the big problem, I think, in this industry is the product, because everybody who offers estate agent, say for residential properties, basically just has the exact same offer. They take your house, they take a marketing fee or a home report cost, and they list it on the open market, and they all do the same thing. Like, they take the call. Like, some companies are a bit better than others because they take the calls better, they do a slightly better job at selling, but inherently the product is exactly the same. It's fairly apples for apples, and there's not a lot you can really do to make yourself stand out. So when we look back at this in the current market, what you've got is a lot of people where they were really just surviving because they were good, but the companies that are still winning and surviving are the ones that really had a big brand as well. And again, the product has just stayed sucky because that's basically the way it is. That's the way residential property sales happen. Now, when I come into a new business, or if I'm wanting to become an estate agent, the main thing I'm looking at is how I can improve as compared to the competition in one of those three fronts that I discussed. Like, how can I actually make the product better? How can I actually have a better brand? How can I actually do a better job in person? How can I get all of those three things to be better than what's in the market? And what most estate agencies are doing, unfortunately, is a lot of them are just reducing their price. It's a race to the bottom, as one of my estate agent friends told me, and it's really, really true. Like, you can get a estate agency now local to me in South Lanarkshire for under £1,000. You've got companies like Purple Bricks offering, next to nothing sales of a property. And the reason for this is because there's all these people just selling, and the only value that they can see to provide is to reduce the price to the customer, which is value for some ways, but it's not the way I like to provide value. So if you want my opinion on what you should do as an estate agent or somebody who's actually trying to grow your business from a marketing point of view, is you want to genuinely find a way of offering more value than what's already in the market. Okay, when you speak to customers, you need to look at what their problems are and how you can solve those problems better than what's already available. What I've seen work really well recently is there's a lot of sourcing friends I work with that actually do an insanely good job at getting people's properties sold quickly. And what they do is they work directly with investors, and instead of listing something in the open market, which can take months on end to actually sell somebody's property, they're taking that property and sourcing it directly to a first-time buyer or an investor, and they're getting a deal done, an offer made within 5 days of that person trying to sell their property. And that offers extreme value to somebody, because if somebody can have something sold in 5 days instead of having to wait 2 or 3 months, they might pay double, triple, quadruple the price of a regular agent's fee to get that service. Okay, so that's an example of how you need to be thinking when you're constructing your business model. Like, don't think about, oh, I'm going to have a nicer suit than the next guy, my brand's going to be this. A lot of people show off their website as if it's something special. There's nothing special about your brand. There's brands that have spent hundreds of thousands of pounds in this business to build up the reputation of their brand. They've got world-class salespeople that have been in the business for 15 years. Very oftentimes you have to look at yourself and think, what am I actually offering that's different and that's better than what's already on the marketplace right now? Whether it's an extra service where you're going to provide a better valuation pack, whether it's a service where you're going to speed up the delivery process of a sale, whether you're going to work, vendor to vendor, it doesn't matter, but you need to come up with something that helps people solve their problems in a way which makes the job better, which the offer is inherently better than what's already on the market. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I checked out this course by a guy called Alex Hermosi the other day. I'm not affiliated with it at all, but this was what really sparked up this conversation and got me thinking a lot about the property business. This course, he talks about $100 million offers, and what he really talks about here is creating an offering to the market that is better than what's available. You can go and check out his course for absolute free, but it's really, really true in business. Any successful business that I've personally had is where I've actually put the customer first. I mean, just go and look at Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all these guys that are really, really successful. The number one thing they're thinking about is how to create a better product than anyone else, which actually helps the people they're selling it to. And most estate agents, they just want to close deals and just stick something on Rightmove and take their subpar average sales skills and, put it on the market. And it's just boring. It's the same thing over and over again. Every estate agent now in the UK just seems to have this, Ferris wheel and this, production line of properties that they sell, and there's no value. And what happens in the market when that happens and everyone's offering the same thing is the only thing left to offer more value with is to reduce your price. And that's why it costs next to nothing very often for people to list with estate agents. And there's a massive market for people who want, the cheapest possible estate agency listing. But I would rather find a way myself of charging £4,000 to sell somebody's property than, £500, which is the way it seems to be going. I would say, if I was giving advice to anyone, I would focus 1,000,000% on looking at my value offering to the customer and seeing what I can do there to actually make it better and coming up with the solutions to the problems that those people have. And if you can actually come up with tangible things that you can tell people about, which solves your problem and compares you to a competitor, it creates a blue ocean market for yourself. And what I mean by a blue ocean market is that if I draw a fish tank here or the ocean, what you have is tons of sharks, okay? And I'm just going to draw S's because I'm really bad at art and I can't draw sharks. But there's tons of sharks and these are the little deals, okay? And all these sharks are coming in for these deals, okay? And the thing is, any one of the sharks could get the deals because effectively the sharks are all the same. Everyone's got the same equal chance to actually do it. But if you create yourself a blue ocean, what you do is you're just a shark, and there's tons of deals flying around from people that need exactly what you offer because nobody else offers it. They're not going to go somewhere else if you can actually deliver a faster sale time than what anyone else can offer. They're not going to go somewhere else if the way that you actually advertise somebody's product, or somebody's property, is 10 times better than everywhere else. That's the bit you've got to get across to the customers, and that's why they'll pick you, and you create yourself an absolute endless amount of opportunity, and that's how businesses become absolutely indestructible, because they stand out from the crowds. You're not just the same guy offering the same thing as the last guy that can do it in 2 minutes. It's lazy, it's boring, and this is what I think most estate agents should be focusing on in 2022. I hope this video was good. Please check out my other ones. See you in the next one. Make sure you subscribe.